Nicki Minaj just lit a fire the music industry can't put out. She's done staying quiet, and now she's naming names. Jay-Z, Desiree Perez, Rock Nation. According to Nicki, they're not just running a label. They're running a trap, and the rappers caught in it. Tory Lanez, Shes Devati Casanova, all of them taken down, all of them tied to one powerful circle. But Nicki says this isn't about bad choices or legal mistakes. She says it's a setup, and she's got receipts to prove it. No rumors, no anonymous insiders, real names, real documents, real court cases. And now, after years of being told she was paranoid or bitter, the truth is spilling out, loud, clear, and dangerous. Nicki's not just calling out Rock Nation. She's calling out the people behind it, the ones pulling strings and silencing voices. And she's warning everyone, if they could do it to Tory, to 6ix9ine, to Casanova, they can do it to anybody. And now, she's coming with fire. Nicki didn't hold back when she brought up Tory Lanez. She said his entire case smelled like a setup, and Rock Nation was right in the middle of it. From the start, nothing added up. The key evidence was missing. Witnesses changed their stories, and the physical proof? Gone. Bullet fragments that were supposedly pulled from Megan's foot? Vanished. Gunshot residue tests didn't match Tory either. But somehow, the case kept moving forward, fast. Tory himself called it out. Right before his sentencing, he posted a message accusing Rock Nation of pulling strings behind the scenes. He said the truth was being buried and the machine was working overtime to shut him down. Then the verdict dropped. Guilty. And that's when things exploded. Tory's father stood outside the courtroom, shouting straight into the cameras. He didn't hold back either. He blamed Rock Nation, he blamed Jay-Z, and he accused them of destroying young black men's lives to protect their brand. They trade and barter the souls of our sons, he said. And Nicki agreed. She said this wasn't just about Tory, it was about power, control, and what happens when an artist refuses to bow down. Tory spoke up. He didn't play the game. And according to Nicki, that's exactly why he got burned. But Tory wasn't the only one, because what happened next proves Nicki's point even more. Nicki didn't just stop with Tory, she brought up 6ix9ine too. And this part hits hard. According to her, he didn't get labeled a snitch just because of his court case. The real reason? He dared to speak out against Rock Nation. Right after teaming up with Nicki for their joint track and going live on Instagram, 6ix9ine started throwing jabs at the system. He mentioned Desiree Perez. He talked about Rock Nation's shady history. And almost immediately, the hate came flooding in. Blogs, headlines, social media, all ripping him apart. Nicki said it wasn't organic, it was planned. A full-on smear campaign meant to destroy his image before he could speak any louder. And here's what makes it even more suspicious. The timing. The moment 6ix9ine and Nicki stood together, Rock Nation's machine kicked into overdrive. Everything 6ix9ine ever did was thrown back in his face. But the moment he turned on Rock Nation, that's when the real fire hit. Nicki says this is what they do. They don't just punish you in court, they punish your reputation. They twist the narrative, push the buttons, and make sure nobody listens when you scream. And if you still think it's a coincidence, wait until you hear what happened to Casanova. Casanova was the next one to fall, another rapper tied to Rock Nation, another name suddenly facing major federal charges, and Nicki says it wasn't random. She says it was planned. Just like Tory, just like 6ix9ine. Right before Casanova was hit with RICO charges, he had started distancing himself from Rock Nation. He wasn't playing along with the narrative, he was asking questions, speaking out, and then, just like clockwork, the feds showed up. Nicki says this is no coincidence. This is the playbook. The indictment came fast. Loud headlines, public arrest, and just like that, another rapper's career was shattered. According to Nicki, it's all part of the same system. Sign them, control them, and if they push back, bury them. She says Rock Nation has mastered it. They know the right people, the right laws, the right pressure points to crush someone in an instant, and the worst part, nobody believed it until now, until the pattern became too clear to ignore. Nicki saw what happened to Casanova and called it out for what it was. Another artist caught in the trap, another voice silenced, But now Nicki isn't just seeing the pattern. She's proving it, and the next receipts don't come from court. They come from inside Desiree Perez's own family. This is where things go from shady to straight up. Terrifying. Nicki isn't the only one pointing fingers. Desiree Perez's own daughter, Diore Hadley, is calling her mother out, and the proof she brought is impossible to ignore. Diore filed a lawsuit against Desiree, accusing her of using the Baker Act to force her into a mental hospital, not because she was unstable, not because she needed help, but because she refused to leave her black husband. That's right. According to Diore, her own mother used money, power, and legal loopholes to destroy her marriage and her freedom. She didn't just say it, she backed it all up. She posted medical records showing she had no history of drug use, no mental breakdowns, no issues at all. She had blood tests, hair follicle results, and 10 years of clean medical reports. Then she dropped body cam footage. It showed the exact moment officers came to take her away. She was calm, she was clear, and she kept saying one thing: "I'm being set up." Nicki saw it all, and she knew what it meant. If Desiree could do that to her own daughter, imagine what she could do to artists under her control. Nicki said, "This is the proof nobody wanted to admit existed. That Roc Nation doesn't just control music, it controls people. And the tools they use: courts, cops, and contracts." Now Nicki's turning the spotlight on those dark secrets, and the next target was her. Once Nicki spoke up, everything changed. Suddenly, her name wasn't just in headlines, it was in 911 calls. And what happened to her next didn't feel like a coincidence. It felt like a warning. The first swatting call came in claiming Nicki was hurting her child. LAPD rushed to her home. Sirens, lights, a full investigation. They found nothing. Her son was safe, unharmed, completely fine. Hours later, another call. A fire had broken out at her house. Firefighters rushed in. Again, no fire, no danger, just stress, fear, and chaos. And it didn't stop. A few weeks later, a new call claimed Nicki had been shot. Officers showed up heavy. Once again, no crime, no evidence, nothing was wrong. But Nicki and her family were left shaken, exhausted, and afraid. Her child was being dragged into it. Her privacy was destroyed. Her peace was stolen. Nicki knew exactly what this was. It wasn't random. It wasn't a prank. It was a punishment. She had exposed too much, and now Roc Nation was pushing back. Hard. She said these swatting calls came at the exact moment she started sharing real proof. The timing wasn't just suspicious, it was strategic. She told fans, "This is how they work. If you speak out, they'll come for your image. If that doesn't work, they'll come for your family." The message was loud and clear: stay silent or suffer. But Nicki didn't fold. She fought back, and what she revealed next proved Roc Nation's ties go deeper than anyone imagined. Nicki didn't just accuse Roc Nation of being shady, she said they're operating on a whole different level. According to her, this isn't just a record label, it's a machine, a federal pipeline designed to control artists through fear, lawsuits, and setups. And the person at the center of it all? Desiree Perez. Nicki revealed receipts that connect Desiree to federal law enforcement, serious ones. Years ago, Desiree was caught trafficking 35 kilos of cocaine. But instead of doing hard time, she cut a deal. She became a federal informant, wore a wire, helped bring down her partners, and somehow, after all that, she became the CEO of Roc Nation. Let that sink in. Nicki said that's no coincidence. She believes Roc Nation is still working closely with federal agencies, not just to protect themselves, but to trap others. Artists with legal issues get signed, then their cases get used as leverage. If they step out of line, suddenly the court comes calling. A new charge, a missing piece of evidence, a media storm. She posted documents, screenshots, statements showing Roc Nation's hand in multiple legal battles. And it all points to one thing: if you cross them, they'll use the system to shut you down. Not with diss tracks, not with bad press, with real consequences. Nicki says they treat courtrooms like studios, just another place to produce results. She called it straight: this is control. Not through contracts, but through fear, through surveillance, through the law. And if that wasn't enough, she still had one more card to play. Desiree's secret past with Jay-Z, and the inner circle that built this entire empire. Nicki saved the heaviest part for last. This wasn't just about Desiree Perez. It wasn't just about swatting calls, court setups, or media attacks. It was about who put Desiree in power in the first place: Jay-Z. Desiree didn't climb her way up from nothing. She had a powerful hand behind her. Jay-Z and Desiree go way back. They co-built Roc Nation. They moved like family. And even after her arrest for trafficking massive amounts of drugs, Jay-Z still made her CEO. Not assistant, not behind the scenes. The face of the company. Nicki says that wasn't loyalty, it was strategy. Desiree knew too much. She had ties to the feds, a long rap sheet, and a past as a DEA cooperating witness. But instead of pushing her out, Jay-Z pulled her closer. Nicki says they built an empire together, one designed not just to sign artists, but to control them. She warned everyone. This wasn't about music anymore. Roc Nation might look like a label, but behind the scenes, it moves like an operation. Legal teams, media plants, federal cooperation, and worst of all, a plan to destroy anyone who won't play along. Nicki made it clear she's not done talking. She said she has more names, judges, executives, media insiders, and when she's ready to speak fully, the whole house might come crashing down. She ended with a message for Roc Nation. You tried to destroy me, you dragged my family, but you forgot one thing: I don't scare easy. And with that, Nicki didn't just call them out, she declared war. Nicki Minaj didn't just expose Roc Nation, she ripped the mask off an entire system. She named the players, showed the proof, and dared them to come for her. From Tory Lanez's rigged case, to 6ix9ine public takedown, to Casanova's sudden RICO charges, it all followed the same pattern. Speak out and suffer. Stay quiet or get crushed. But Nicki didn't stay quiet. She roared. She called out Jay-Z. She exposed Desiree Perez. And with court documents, medical records, and real-time footage, she showed the world exactly how deep this goes. This wasn't paranoia. This wasn't some wild rant. It was a roadmap of manipulation, control, and destruction, designed to trap artists and break their will. And now, it's all coming undone. Nicki's not looking for pity. She's not asking for attention. She's sending a warning, a message to every artist, every fan, every label exec still playing along. The truth is out. The receipts are real, and Roc Nation's time is running out. Because in the end, it wasn't Nicki who got destroyed. It was the people who thought they could silence her. They tried to end Tory. They erased 6ix9ine. They buried Casanova. But with Nicki standing tall, telling the truth, and daring them to come closer, Roc Nation may have just started a war they can't finish. And this time, they picked the wrong one.